What's up, feasters? Welcome back to another great episode of the Anime Feast. I'm Dominique, and as always, with me are my co-hosts, the wonderful and talented Tawan.
What up? You guys ready to get your head in the game?
Fucking awful. And the even more talented and wonderful because of that,
I'm ready to
Matthew.
game if you guys are. God.
I feel like it would have been
That was
better if you're like
worse.
I'm. I feel like you would. It would have been better if you're like I'm more game than you are. I don't know.
It's gonna be a long one, guys.
I mean, you're no
No.
king
Game
of
time.
games.
Yeah.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh! King of games, even though he's only good at one game.
He's the king of games. That game being Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, it's Duel Monsters.
It's all right. It's Duel Monsters. He is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, we call it Yu-Gi-Oh! In the real world, but
Yeah. What do you mean? Is that not the real world?
I know
Not
Kaiba.
actual
They did have his
creatures?
ship go across the thing and had holograms. Actually, I'm still mad.
kind of lit.
I'm still mad. Like we should have a hologram. Like we should really have like the Yu-Gi-Oh technology by now.
Ooh,
The thing is, I didn't care to summon Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. I just wanted to summon my goddamn Bit Beast from Beyblade.
Oh yeah.
no.
That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted in life was to summon my Bit Beast.
And did you guys used to have like the big thick ones that would absolutely destroy everything else?
Whoa.
No, like
Yeah,
context.
In fact, I do.
No, like it was. They were just like the Beyblades, but they were just like I don't know. They had like a extra metal bar in the middle of it.
So there are
but-
actually defense and attack type
No, no, no.
Beyblades that. Oh,
But
But-
attack, defense, and stuff is based off of their spin, rotation, and pattern. What Matt's
It's just a
talking
side.
about is there was a specific year of the because they did different types throughout the show. There was a specific one that had that metal bar in the middle. I know what you're talking about, Matt, because I did have one that had that metal ring.
That's
I just don't remember which one it was.
cheater.
I think it was the one I think it was when they first introduced whatever team it was that started to destroy every like our main team's Beyblades. They had the metal gears in them. Was it metal?
Never
It wasn't
owned-
metal.
Fun fact: never owned a Beyblade.
Oh, you missed out. You
Oh,
missed out.
I had so many Beyblades. It was the best.
Never owned one. I was like, it's just tops. Why do I want tops?
I even looked up tournaments. I looked up like where tournaments were, like how to get into tournaments, because eventually I wanted to go to one. I was all about Beyblading back in the day, man.
I will say that I'm definitely a big Yu-Gi-Oh tournament guy. So like as a kid, like I don't know if any of you guys know our audience has ever been to one of these because I haven't seen one in years. But a Books a Million. There's a Books a Million in our hometown, and they would have a tournament every Saturday. So that's what I did on my Saturday mornings was from like 9 to like 2 o'clock afternoon playing Yu-Gi-Oh with a bunch of random people. So I was like that kind of
That's
nerd.
cool.
I forgot I forgot Books a
I
Million
know.
existed.
That's what the
Yeah.
Books Million that was here in Raleigh. It turned into a Dollar Tree. That is where the Dunkin' Donuts I used to work at way back in the day. That's definitely not there anymore.
Books, Books a Million is better than Barnes and Noble, though. All hands down.
From what I can recall, yes, I would agree.
It's like Barnes and Noble was just cool because they had like the audio section, like at least one in Triangle Town Center, which is I'm pretty sure still there. But like it was the first two-story bookstore I ever knew. But also like I also had like the CD section and stuff like that, where you can like go and listen to like all songs before you actually buy.
Yeah,
Right.
and you had audiobooks and stuff over there too. Gosh, good old times. And you had things on CD. How many of you guys remember stuff on CD?
How many of you guys remember burning your
Yep.
own CDs?
Plenty.
What?
Plenty. Yeah.
All right, go to LimeWire
No.
or Crossfire, illegally download my song, give it
I was-
a
Alright, I did-
the title, artist,
LimeWire. Oh,
send that.
no matter what you typed in LimeWire, the first like three results was always some porn. Doesn't matter what.
Or it's like that Bill
God,
Clinton
yo.
clip. Like I did
Oh
not
my
have sex
God,
with that
yeah.
woman, but I did use freecds.com to.
Then you had to go to Google to find the image, Go into your
Yeah.
iTunes, upload the image into your iTunes with the
Oh
song
yeah,
and
so
the
yeah,
album cover.
album cover. Yeah, it's
These
No,
kids don't know what we went through.
I was going to say even go and buy CDs because CDs weren't the cheapest things either. I remember getting like the stack,
yeah.
like what, like 80,
Or if
like 80
you
disc stack to burn your CDs and stuff like that.
Hmm.
or you had a CD changer in your car. Like you could have like 5 or 6 CDs where you didn't have to have like you
Those
had
are
to
the
switch it out every time.
fancy
Yeah.
days with
I
those.
remember the old Avalon I drove. It had a 12 CD thing, but you didn't change it from like where you're sitting. It was in the trunk. So you had to pop the thing out from the trunk and then change the CDs out, and then you had to like write down where your what CD you want to listen to because you didn't know which one was in what number.
Yeah, I had a CD changer in my first Honda Accord, and then they got stuck, and I could never get them out, so I never played CDs in there again.
I remember
So,
that now.
Yeah.
I remember
yeah,
that.
I had like a 6 disc CD changer, and it just got stuck, so I had to just start listening to the radio after that, and it was a sad day. But yeah, well, if you guys haven't realized that we're going to be talking about gaming this episode, it's all kinds of gaming that has been related to anime in our lives and what we grew up on. So we started out with Yu-Gi-Oh, King of Games and
I was
Duel
like,
Monsters, and I've definitely played a couple Yu-Gi-Oh video games as well,
what was it?
all of which have been
Duel's
great.
Kingdom, I believe it was, where you like went around, like unlocked like the different characters and played different ones on the Game Boy Advance.
Yes, I didn't play that one. I had one on my GameCube where it was like Duelist Kingdom, but you kind of like went through like a wilderness and you like ran into people kind of like you do with Pokemon, and you have to like build your deck and you win cards off of people, and it was just a good time. It's a hard time though, but
I just remember like the AI, like the main characters, like they had decent AI, but like Yugi and Kaiba and like Pegasus, they had like very smart AI. But after you learn how to manipulate the game, and when you actually get good cards,
just
What,
take one second to talk about how. Oh,
Exodia or the Egyptian god
Just-
Ra?
man, I would have been so mad at I forget his name, but the bug guy. If he threw my Exodia cards off that boat, we would
Yeah,
have
we,
fought.
remember we talked about the because
Yes.
he's going with him. He's going right with him.
Yeah, you getting off, you're getting thrown off the boat too. Because if
Yep.
you didn't care, I don't care.
I,
Also, we're in Duelist Kingdom, and no one's gonna care because people start using the Shadow Realm and like literally sending mugs to another dimension
Yep.
to
Why-
kill themselves.
why would he
So-
even give him the cards? Like, oh, let me see Exodia real quick before. Like you just met.
Because
you just-
Yugi is a nice
trusting,
guy.
He's such a trusting person.
He's like, what? Oh my gosh, the Exodia God cards, and he's like, oh yeah, an opponent on this island trying to win his money too. It's like, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna. It's like I'm gonna give you my sword so you can look at it. No,
just pissed me off. At least was he the first person that Yugi beat when he got on the island too?
I think Yugi might have went after him. Like it's been so long since I watched the original Yu-Gi-Oh, but I don't think he was the first one, but he was very early on. And then because it was like our first iteration into seeing like, hey, it's not just playing cards on this table anymore. We're have like full ass holograms like you saw when he first played Kaiba. Also, Kaiba talks so much shit and could not back it up against anyone. Well, he backed it up against Yugi. Also, anytime Joey Wheeler was on the screen, he was getting roasted every time. Gosh, Kaiba did not like Joey.
No, yeah. I remember watching a video and someone like was saying how he would just flame Joey anytime he talked. Your sister's sick. You suck at dueling. You got a stupid ass red eyes black dragon. Well, I have the great blue eyes white dragon. Like just roasting Joey every time he
And
said
Joey,
something.
see, I like Joey. He was always the underdog. And we continue. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. If you're watching this live, and if you are also watching us afterwards, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube page, Anime Feast. And thank you for joining us. But no, Joey, man, the Red Eyes Black Dragon, when the Red Eyes Black Dragon and the Summon Skull fused together, that was by far my favorite card. The Red Eyes Skull Dragon.
Honestly, the Summon Skull was like I feel like a slept on card. Like it was better than the Dark Magician overall, in my opinion. Like, but Yugi always like went like they had the same attack, but I feel like the summon skull came in clutch more often than the Dark Magician. But that's just
Best
my
believe when I was dueling with my friends and stuff, that yeah, Summon Skull was used way more than Dark
It just
Magician. So I was like, this, I was like, that Dark Magician's a waste of a move for me.
it was. I mean, plus you had to sacrifice
exactly,
2 cards to summon the Dark Magician, or you can do 1 for the Summon Skull. It just didn't make any sense to have Dark Magician making.
exactly.
And then why was it always Dark Magician versus Blue Eyes White Dragon when it's clearly like
Blue Eyes.
Blue Eyes is actually clearly the better card. So like Yugi, find a better card.
Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
Nah, I said I'm gonna find Dark
No.
Magician Girl.
And instead of
You had
instead of having just 1 Dark Magician, let me have 3.
Girl.
It's not, man.
But yes, guys, sorry. It's so fun to talk about these like old nostalgic things and what we all went through. It was really great. But to get kind of back into the video game side of things, there were so many that we played growing up, and still play to this day. Like I know Tuan was playing Pirate Warriors for the other day, and just the whole One Piece Pirate Warriors genre in general. I never knew it was a thing until I was over at Tuan's one day years ago. I think it was the first or second one, and he showed me, and we started playing together. And it's just so much fun. So like now, then I started buying it myself. I also have Pirate Warriors 4, and it's cool because it's like it has a storyline to it, but its storyline doesn't go. It's not proper. It goes like Alabasta, and then all of a sudden to like Water 7. And then it jumps to Marineford, and then all of a sudden you're at Whole Cake Island.
Yeah, it just gets a lot. But I mean, older versions of the game, they do go in order. Like I know one of them, they went to Skypiea. So I definitely remember playing with Inaru, but in the most recent iteration, you don't get to play with him. But yeah, it's just a fun. I don't know if you guys have ever played, like Hyrule Warriors. Also, is like a game like that where you just go around fighting a lot of weak enemies, and then you have like a stronger boss, which is going to be one of the characters that you actually know. But it's just fun using their moves, going around killing tons of enemies. So, fun fact about the first time we played Pirate Warriors, I got the game from Japan and did not know how to read any of the title screens. But we eventually were able to just get into a game, and then after that, we're like good to go. But didn't care about the storyline, objectives, or anything like that.
I was like, you couldn't even tell what objective you had to do because you still couldn't read it. They had arrows to point to where you need to go. Like, okay, I guess we go here now.
But it's so fun because there are also so many fun characters to use. Like Kizaru, hands down my favorite character, just because of how fast he is and being light. But like his attacks were like they were in One Piece. So like his light beams would shoot and like blow up, like just running through people left and right. Like the Yagata mirror was one of my favorite things to do because he just goes and like reflects in a zigzag pattern, and then that like sends people into the sky, and then he blows everybody up. Oh, it was amazing. But you got to be careful though in that game because there are some characters like that are fun to play with, and then you have characters like Marco who are the fucking worst to play with. Because Marco, there's no control. There's no controlling Marco in his Phoenix form. When he's flying, he's just kind of anywhere. You could be on the left side of the map, press 2 buttons, he's on the right side of the map, and you're like, how the fuck did this happen? Well, I told you to go straight.
Yeah, because there are different types of characters. Like there's power, speed, technique, and then I think like aerial. And Marco's definitely an aerial type character, and it's just like hard to like lock on to any one character. So you'll like even like a straight attack is just like a combo, and he'll like move from one side of the screen to the other, and then like there's no simple direction for Marco. So it's just like that's not how I wanted to go with the enemy I wanted to attack. But thanks for doing whatever you did.
Isn't that where the time Shank's like time magic power, not magic power, but Shank's ability really came in is from the Pirate Warrior games? Because when you play a Shanks, like he can like stop time or something like that, if I remember correctly.
I think it was more of like a hockey technique, but I'm not sure. I remember there was one technique where he would like just drink a big cup of sake, because I think the most that we had seen with him was like him interacting with Whitebeard at that point, and just drinking that big sake, and it would like, I guess like knock other people out, which I think related to his Conqueror's hockey. But Yeah, and then I think he had a sword at that point too, so he would slash people kind of like Mihawk.
And that's all he does right now. In the current iteration, it's just him walking around, and pretty much every attack is a hockey-based attack. So, interestingly enough, the game actually shows us that you could, put Conqueror's hockey on your weapon and use it that way before the anime did. Because we really just got to that in the anime, or in the manga, should I say. But Shanks in the game actually kind of shows that, because that's all he does is put hockey on his weapons, or just spews out his hockey. So I can't wait to learn more about Shanks, though,
Yeah,
guys.
right, movie.
Movie Red. I can't wait. Like I know I don't think he's the main focus. I think it was something as a main focus, but I want so much more out of that movie. I can't wait to learn more about Shanks, and then hopefully I'll also see him in Elbaf in the actual anime and manga.
Yeah, I've seen. Well, yeah, that's off topic for another episode. But I was saying that he is the current, not overlord, but the protector of Elbap. That's currently
Yeah,
his
Elbaf's
territory.
his territory, or that's the
So
theory.
that would be exciting to see. Another game that near and dear to my heart is Naruto Ninja Storm. Any of the Ninja Storm iterations, but yes, great game if you love a good fighting game. It's not super fair with all the characters because there's definitely like most of the Itachis have an upper hand on most other characters, but
Um,
it's definitely a great fun fighting game. Good mechanics, great finishing moves, like good easy to use combos that you don't really have to like worry about like XYZ, worry about learning a combo like Mortal Kombat. That's why I was always bad at Mortal Kombat games because I was never like willing to learn like one character just whole combo list.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
just so many characters, and it's like you have to pick one, and then if it's like you've committed to the wrong one, you're like, oh, I messed up and put all this time into it anyway.
Exactly. But, Ninja Storm's just a great game. One of the most frustrating fights, though, I remember is with Kakazu, just because you have to fight his iterations of the souls that he's taken and uses for his protection. Like one's like fire, one's earth, one's wind. And it's just like a whole rigmarole to like fight them. And then also the tailed beasts, because you're like fighting them on one life. And then in between the battles between each tailed beast, you'll gain HP based on how much damage you did and like how little damage you take. And if you aren't like good enough at not taking damage, then it's just going to be a bad time for you. I remember like getting frustrated and rage quitting like a couple times on the tailed beast and Kakazu specifically.
That's the frustrating thing I have about like fighting games in general. Is like, oh, you need to block. It's like I just want to punch, attack.
I I will say I played the storyline of all the Naruto's though, because they were just really enjoyable. But what was really interesting was I think it is Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, or it was 3, one of the two. It starts out with actually Madara versus
Yeah.
Hashirama.
I
That
think it
are
was
like,
3 or
yeah, I think
4.
it's
Yeah.
3. And it like that was the first time it was kind of done that, and like kind of like and it was really enjoyable because you got to also try it out in the demo before you got the game, because you got to like do that scene so you knew if you wanted it or not, and it was really fun just to kind of have those aspects to it, and a fight that we all would have like enjoyed being able to do, because you didn't get to do it in the previous games. Like we knew about the story, we knew about that back fight with them, but you actually got to do the fight. So I love kind of just going through story modes in certain games sometimes, but I also love the open world concept, which is why I loved One Piece Pirate Warriors, because some of it's storyline, but at the same time you're just running around a large map with thousands of enemies, and then you and a few allies, and you just get to beat up everybody, and that's fun.
Yeah. I was gonna say that was actually one of my frustrating things with Ninja Storm because like some of the open worldness of that game was like just trying to find out where you need to be. So like
Oh my
you'd have to
god.
run all the way from like Konoha to the village in the sand, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
yo, this is taking like 15 minutes. Like,
You
can't
gotta
I just
find a
not like
certain
fast travel?
scroll hidden somewhere.
Yeah, it could be frustrating when you're just trying to do something like that. But like the fight and like game mechanics that way, top tier.
But that's why like another open world game I really love was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Like I really enjoyed playing through that. And what was beneficial about Kakarot was that it also like allowed like my wife to get into Dragon Ball Z because she was able to like watch me just play the game, and Kakarot goes through pretty much the whole storyline um up to right before Super. So it was like just really cool for her to like know at this point, who Boo is, who Cell is, Teen Gohan versus the Great Saiyan Man, all of that stuff. Oh, the
Same
fucking
man,
Great Saiyan
same.
Man, Boo.
I will-
But like it's also really fun because it's open world, lots of flying around. You do have the goals, but at the same time you can have a good time. And they have new DLCs where they did add the super storyline into the DLC. They added in the Future Trunks storyline as well, or Future Gohan. So like I'm gonna play that at some point. So where I get to be one-armed Gohan fighting the androids, and then Trunks after that. So
that's
I'm loving what they've done
that's
so
cool.
far.
Now that because that's like because like the old Dragon Ball Z games, they just like rinse repeat everything, just like the storyline over and over, and then they finally did something
Hmm.
different. I, until like then they do Z. I can't remember like the all in between from like because I know you did Budokai Takanishi, Tenkaichi, yeah,
Tenkaichi.
Tenkaichi. So you
yeah.
had Dragon Ball
Tenkaichi.
Z. I think it was just Budokai at first, or Tenkaichis, and then it was Budokai
Mhm.
Tenkaichis, and those were the
Mhm.
top
I
tiers.
didn't get into those. I did
Yeah.
The Budokai 2, and that's why on on the in the video, that's why I have the Budokai 2 because I played many hours of that game. And I like that one too because it wasn't just like, oh, like here's a storyline that you already know. You get it was like some like board game style fights. I thought it was the first, yeah,
Yeah.
like the like tournaments and like I don't remember any character being overly powered. I just remember, I mean, like Goku and everybody and Frieza, like whenever you get to the final form, it drained your key faster. But aside from that, it was
Hmm.
just fun. I mean, put lots of hours into that game.
Yeah, that's that.
Uh,
Kakarot kind of does the same thing now. Like with Kakarot, if you go Kaioken, then it'll drain your health. While if you go Super Saiyan, it'll drain your key and stuff. So I think that's kind of dope that they did that. That is like an actual asset, a facet of the game.
Because it does take energy to just be in that form anyway. Like
Hmm.
yeah.
it's what,
You can't just do it
yeah. Because even
indefinitely. But go-
Unless you're Super Saiyan Gohan and Goku training to fight Cell,
yeah,
then you just
same
stay in
same
your
for
Super Saiyan form all
just
all the time.
permanent. I still love Dragon Ball Z. The bridge is like we don't know how to turn this. We don't know how to turn it off. Actually, it's kind of concerning. It's like, oh well. It's like,
I mean, it's not a bad thing to not be able to like not be Super Saiyan. You're just like automatically just power boosted indefinitely.
Hmm.
But
But then that becomes
go-
your base, and then like blah, that's your base.
but a game that's similar to Kakarot is Dragon Ball Z Saga. I don't know if anyone's ever played it, but it's also like an open world you get to go through. I think it goes up to the Cell Saga. I think that's as far as it goes.
was
I don't think it goes
was
to
that one
Boo,
the Game
but
Boy?
it, no, it was actually I actually played it on GameCube, but I remember being on PlayStation as well. But it is just an open world. You go through and you fight. Like I remember specifically, like fighting Raditz. So you'll fight like Saibamen. Saibamen are one of the most annoying characters to fight in any Dragon Ball Z game because like they have a smaller hitbox in general as well. So sometimes like just punching them won't work because they're smaller. But
It's on
you go through,
GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox.
yeah, uh, yeah, Dragon Ball Z sagas. If you never played it, it was great because you had to go around and like, if you low on health, you had to find some sensu beans or you had to find capsules for capsule port because you need something for like a rocket ship. So, but you'd be on Namek and you had to go and fight like the Ginyu Force and then like the other, of Frieza's minions just while you're going along trying to fight, you know, get to Nappa or get to Captain Ginyu or any of the other people that you fight along the main story of the game. So you end up playing Gohan, you end up playing, Piccolo, Goku, depending on which part of the story that you were in. And it was a co-op game as well. So like say if it was the fight with Raditz, you'll default to be Goku, but like if you're playing with your friend, Piccolo will also be there, and then you'll fight as Piccolo and you have all his movesets, and then he fights as Goku and he has his moveset. So it was a
Do
pretty
you
cool.
guys remember when couch co-op was
Yep.
a thing?
It's like
Yes.
Every game allowed you to do couch co-op.
with Michael, we had to almost like pick out 2-player games exclusively because we didn't want to watch each other just play a 1-person game.
I can see that. Unless it has 2 people, don't get it.
I don't know why it just didn't dawn on us way back then. I guess because we both want to be playing, but it's like trading off the controller. It's such a thing now, but like no, like when we're at least when me and Mike were kids. I mean, like it's like why would we do that when we can both be playing at the same time instead?
I get it, and it's also like kids are impatient, and you just didn't have the patience that you do now. You're like, oh, I don't mind watching because you watch people play games now. And it's just like, oh, it's a whole thing. It's called Twitch and, YouTube and all these other things. But it's like, when you're a kid, it's like, no, I want to play. Fuck watching him play. Why does he deserve to play more than me? He can watch me play, but I'm not going to just sit here on the couch and watch him.
Speaking of Twitch, follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/athletic_geek.
And I'll sprinkle that in.
Nice self promo.
Athletic_geek.
No, like was it? We had to trade off like we had 15-minute like intervals of the Game Boy, like trading off the Game Boy when one of us lost it or something. I can't remember. I don't know why we.
I was like, speaking of the Game Boy,
Yeah.
one of the hands down best games on Game Boy is Pokemon.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. That's how you know we're best friends, because I was gonna say the same shit.
Yeah, I specifically remember getting my first Game Boy, which was yellow, and then also my first Game Boy game, which was Pokemon Yellow, for my birthday. I think I was like 10 or something like when it happened. But I remember specifically being upset with the game because, you go through, you get your Pokemon. Obviously, I chose Squirtle because water is always the best starter.
False.
You lie.
Okay, that's an argument for another day. Also, grass is the worst starter.
You lie again.
Unless you're choosing Chikorita.
Oh,
False.
bag of lies.
But getting through the forest, like in the first game, the bug forest, I remember getting to the end and then the screen was just black and there was a sign. And I was like, damn, I gotta go to the next part because I looked through the forest. I didn't see any other way to get through. Just had to push through. But I just never kept going. So that was my first rage quit moment with Pokemon. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I've been trying for 3 hours to get through this forest. I can't figure out what to do. The sign didn't give me any inclination of what to do. So I just kept going, and I didn't think to just press up again. And I was just stuck in the forest for a day.
I forgot about the bug forest, which is crazy because that is the first true test in a lot of the Pokemon games, and it is where you just get to go in there and get really annoyed at battling 65 different bug catchers, and you're like, I do not care to battle your Kakuna that's just going to use Harden and your Caterpie that's going to use String Shot. Leave me the fuck alone. I just want to get out.
Also, do you guys remember, I don't know, in the red and blue, and then I guess when they remade it, the red and green, where that forest was the only place that you could catch a Pikachu? Also, Pikachu's not that great, but I would take the time to look in that forest for at least 2 hours to at least try and catch a Pikachu.
Yeah, I think it was 5% encounter rate.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I ever tried to get a Pikachu in any of the games.
No, I
did. I definitely did.
I think Ruby and Sapphire was the first time I went out of my way to get Pikachu because it was in the Safari Zone, so you just happen to walk up into it.
Oh, the Safari Zone. The
Pikachu's not worth it.
The place to go to. Man. Go give me a Genghis Khan.
Yes, that's what I was the Safari Zone. A Genghis Khan and a Chansey.
Which I never.
It's the only reason I go. It's the only reason I would go.
Pokemon I never caught. Yeah, no,
really?
Chansey, even I've caught a couple Tauruses, but Chansey never caught Genghis Khan. I think I just didn't. I got too frustrated of just walking around there because I always ran into Nidorinos and Nidorans. Nothing. Chansey would never populate, and Genghis Khan would never for me.
I think another Pokemon I never got to catch. Obviously not in that zone, but was a Lapras. I don't recall ever getting a Lapras.
So you had to trade.
No, you didn't have to trade. It was a gift Pokemon after the Giovanni.
Yeah,
but if you had a full party, he would be like, "Oh, just come back later and get this from me." until then gold and
Yeah.
silver. I believe Lapras was like on a Wednesday in a cave that you could catch the Lapras.
Guys, remember going to the gambling town and then just like gambling, getting a bunch of coins, and then going to buy an Abra or
Yeah.
buying a Dratini?
Oh yeah, that's the
That's
only
what,
way you
that
get
was the
one.
best way to get
Yeah.
the
Like,
yeah, absolutely. I thought you were going to go with the gambling. It's like now we're in gambling debt as adults and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was also the only way to get like a Porygon.
Yeah.
No, you.
I remember.
Did you actually play at the games to get Porygon, or did you just win enough battles through the Elite Four and then bought the coins, and then go over next door and buy the Porygon?
Oh, I would play the games for like maybe an hour, and then I'd just get frustrated. But also, I remember like going to the gambling town to go up to the roof to buy like a lemonade to get like all these HMs and
Yes.
TMs, or like because I was like, oh great, I need to get Ice Beam, and Ice Beam is one of my favorite like ice attacks. And I thought that like any water Pokemon I had was going to learn Ice Beam. Just it was going to happen.
Oh my goodness.
Also, I remember playing Pokemon so much I got good at like the one I always had an HM slave. I just did because you gotta have some Pokemon that you're gonna teach cut and all these useless other moves that you don't want them to have. The only good one was like Fly and Surf. The only ones worth having that actually were good in battle. But Flash, completely useless. So I had to like I actually got so good at going through the caves, like I was able to navigate the cave without using Flash and run into all the enemies. Also had two like different ways of playing as I was growing up. One was like, okay, don't fight any of the enemies, and then one is like, I gotta fight every enemy. That was when I was just like, let me overpower my team and then just like destroy through every town.
That was kind of me. What I liked to do was just strengthen up my Pokemon so that when I did get to whatever gym it was, I'm a solid 10 levels above, and I'm just gonna run through the shit and get moving. Yeah, like I don't want to be, your Pokemon is level, 32 and mine is level, 31, 32 as well. No. I'm coming to your gym with level 50 Pokemon. I'm gonna run through your shit. I'm gonna keep moving.
Also, the hardest gym leader I've ever fought is got to be Wendy from the Gen 2 with that fucking Miltank.
Wendy,
roll out
Wendy's
again.
Miltank.
Roll out again.
No, like I
gym battle I've ever.
No, and her rollout never missed either. Like I don't remember, and it never missed. Like it was like, oh yeah, by the way, like it's like, oh, I can beat this Pokemon, but she's on her 5th rollout with Miltank, and who has a high attack anyway.
Also, you get that one attack, and it's just like that much left. Super potion.
Yeah. I remember because when you would fight the normal the normal Pokemon trainers, no one needs the potion, no one needs anything. You would just defeat their Pokemon, and then you get to those gym leaders, especially with me, and then all of a sudden you're like almost about to win, and then they will throw out them super and hyper potions, and you're like, you're not supposed to do this, NPC. You're not supposed to know how to do this. You don't have potions.
Gosh, she's definitely the most frustrating gym leader I've ever had to face. Like, I would rather fight the Elite. I was less frustrated fighting the Elite Four than I was fighting her.
Yeah,
hands down.
She was worse. Actually, her and Claire were probably the two hardest ones. The dragon trainer, the dragon gym leader.
I wasn't even worried.
No, the Kingdra just wrecked me every time. It's like you can't use Thunder on the Kingdra because it's part dragon, so it has a resistance to it.
Yeah, so it doesn't do anything. And then the Ice Beam also takes out half of the effect, so it's just like a normal attack. Also, Kingdra made Horsea like a top tier Pokemon.
Seadra was alright, but
even Seadra made it cool. But also the work.
You gotta get to Kingdra.
Also, the work that you have to do to go from like Magikarp to Gyarados is way too much.
It's level 20. What do you mean too much?
But fighting,
it knows Splash, and then it at one point learns Tackle, and that's it.
Yeah, man. Also, can I talk about like the EXP share has become way too easy in my opinion. Because
old man.
Back in my day,
back in my day, you had
the whole team. The whole team. It's too easy. Like we didn't get that when we were kids. You got whatever Pokemon held the EXP share, that's the Pokemon that got the XP.
Back
But
in
now
my
it's just
day,
like,
you
oh,
had
your
to
whole
fight
team.
for it. You had to put the right Pokemon in the right spot.
You only do one at a time. You don't get your whole party. Kids have it easy too.
Back in my day, we had to walk up and down the
With
both
In
ways.
in the snow.
uphill,
In the snow.
both ways.
Ain't nobody write me.
I agree. The XP share does make it easier, but it is what it is.
It's less grinding for everything.
Yeah.
Also, let us know in the comments how you consider yourself beating a Pokemon game. Is it just beating the Elite Four? Is it catching all the Pokemon? Wasn't me. I was a very elitist. Like, only strong people need to be caught. Anybody else is just garbage and in my way, or is a stepping stone.
All I'm gonna say is, the theme song quite clearly says, "Gotta catch them all."
It says it on the game box.
Gotta beat them all.
Granted, I have never done that until Pokemon Sword.
Gotta beat them all. I crush everyone with an iron fist. That's why I'm leader of the Elite Four, the champion of the world.
You caught all of them in Sword, Dom?
Yes. I caught every type in Sword. And then the first DLC I got all of them in that. And then the second DLC, I think I'm missing like 10 or 12. And obviously you have to trade some because they're exclusives between Sword and Shield. But yeah, well, I wasn't gonna do it until Wallace and Allison. Really Wallace, he talked about how he needs all of them and we're trading and stuff like that. And so because he needed all of them, and I was like his friend with Sword, I went and caught some, and then I ended up being like, I'll catch everything. So yeah, I have everything except for the latest DLC, which I'm only missing a few from that.
That's impressive. I do not have the care to do it, but that's impressive.
It's not too difficult.
There
is one challenge though, on the Owl of Armor that's really fucking annoying. And this is one dude. He wants you to go find all of his all of his Diglets. He has Alolan Diglets, and they all escape. I think it's like 51 or is it 101? It's a lot. It's a lot of Diglets, and he's like, I need you to go find them. And the only part of the Alolan Diglets you can see are those blonde strands of hair on this game, and you can barely see them no matter where you are. And it's not like hey, they're all in this small part of the Alolan branch. They are in the Isle of Armor section. They're in like the entire DLC of the Alolan section or of the Isle of Armor section, and you're like, bro, that's like 20 different areas. Why did you? What is this?
He lost his Diglett.
Oh, also, guys, let us know in the comments which is your favorite generation of Pokemon game. Mine is personally Gen 4 with Platinum, Diamond, and Pearl.
Never played any of them.
Gosh.
You're missing out.
Never played any of the Pokemon games, or never played that iteration?
Clearly what you're talking about. I just said how I've played Pokemon games. I'm clearly talking about Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum.
You got to be specific.
No, it's called context clues.
Also, Platinum is the best Pokemon game that I've ever played.
I think Platinum's the best I've played, but Generation 2 is my favorite because you get to go back to the Kanto region and still play a whole second game.
I will say that is great. Like, I feel like you got the most bang for your buck in Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Also, Silver over Gold. Give me Lugia over Gold every time.
I agree, actually. I think I agree with that.
I'm a Ho fan.
Also,
Gold.
Also,
can't make a wife out of a hoe.
Oh. Also, I feel like it's kind of ridiculous to give me a legendary Pokemon that I may kill in the wild because they spawn sporadically. Talking about the legendary dog specifically, like that's a frustration for me.
So,
like,
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was gonna ask this question to y'all. What is your favorite legendary trio? And I'll preface this by giving my answer first and why this came up. Because at work, for a long time in one of our Slack messages, every hour there'd be an update of like whoever was on call, and then they would be assigned to Pokemon, and sometimes it would be legendaries. And currently they only had like the Gen 1, Gen 2 stuff in there. And a coworker is also a big Pokemon person, and we were talking about these things, and I was expressing how like when he asked me who my favorite was, and it took me a minute to think about it because I wasn't sure, and then I was kind of like, I think I do like the legendary dogs the most. specifically Suicune. I think Suicune's my favorite. So then I
No, I
wanted to know
mean,
from you guys, who's your favorite, like just trio, not just of the dogs, but like out of all the legendary trios, who's your favorite? And remember, I didn't play Platinum in them, so I don't really know Rayquaza in them that
But that's
well. Or no, sorry,
no.
Palkia and Dialga in them that well.
I thought you were talking
Honestly, when
about
you said when
the lake spirits, but
yeah, like that's another thing. Like the spirits, I feel like are
yeah,
useless and
yep.
kind of need to discount them, like the Uxie, Elf, Azelf, and something like that.
Mesprit, something
Yeah,
like that.
Mesprit, that's the one.
useless.
But also like the regular trios are also trios. Like you think about, I think Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, that's a trio in itself. But then I
Hmm.
also think about like the Reggies for that. And it's like Reggie Ice, Reggie Steel, Reggie
But
Rock.
those are your semi legendaries, aren't they?
They're your what legendaries?
Semi legendaries, because they're like semi legendary types, and then there are the actual legendary types.
No, they are legendaries, just like they would be equivalent to the dogs in that
Yeah.
iteration of the game because like Regigigas, like there's only one, you can only have one chance of like getting them.
Mm.
But like I think about that as well, and I'm just like, because I probably would say if it was just a trio, it'd be um Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. Just gosh, they are pretty fucking awesome. But I do like, I probably like second is probably Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre.
They're
Because I love their
nostalgic.
actual ability is not not I just like their actual ability, which is not just pressure, which a lot of legendaries get, which is just to lower the amount of moves that you have to use, but they actually like change the weather. So like when Kyogre comes out, he makes it rain, and then if you teach Kyogre Thunder, he never misses. Fun fact, if you didn't
Actually, I
know,
think
Thunder never
Yeah, because
misses
if
in
yeah.
it's
the rain.
raining, then it's yeah.
Or yeah,
Or if
sunny
it's
day,
snowing, then never miss
Solar Beam
blizzard.
doesn't have to charge up. Yeah, um, Solar Beam doesn't have to charge up if it's sunny day. So teach it to Groudon.
I'm gonna say my favorite is actually Gen 5, the Cobalion, Virizion, and Trekion. Even though I've never played the games, I think it's a little biased from the Pokemon Go where I caught a shiny Cobalion on my first attempt. But at the same time, like I don't know, they're the most diverse also. Like water grass, rock fighting. Like it's
Well, it's interesting
Mm,
is because I didn't really didn't play too many Pokemon games after what
three after the Emerald.
probably the third generation. Yeah,
so
yeah. I think after Emerald, I don't know a lot of these other legendaries that well, outside of like finally getting to use them or see them or catch them in like Pokemon Go. So or Pokemon Sword. So like for example, in one of the DLCs, I ran into Viserion, caught it because I didn't know what it was, and then I was like, oh, and then I like discovered it was a legendary, and I was like, oh,
Ooh.
like I didn't know that about this Pokemon. So like though I'm wanting to know more about them, but for right now, for me, they're just like, oh,
So I kind of like the new generation games because like you don't know what these Pokemon are actually because I think the kids nowadays they know everything, but like as a person who grew up like with every new generation, there's new stuff to discover. It's like, oh, what are these? Like, what type are they, or how do they use in battle? I'm more intrigued about like actually catching them and seeing like what they can actually do instead of just like, oh, Caterpie. Oh, let's just run him over real quick and then
I mean, I was a run over until like you seemed like you were worth it. I had to see you in battle, but also like a random thought that I just had. I was like, did you guys ever enter like a specifically? I think it came into like Gen 3, which was like a beauty competition where you had to like
the
use your
contest.
moves and like combine your berries to like
get
give you like
ribbons.
beauty and ribbons. Yeah,
Yeah, I did it once. I think I did it for like a Chikorita.
yeah. I just remember
Something.
like also who is in the comments, description. Let us know who's your favorite Pokemon. Mine is specifically Garchomp.
Here we go. To one and
Gosh,
What You say one bad thing about Garchomp, other than he's weak against ice. Like ice will wreck him. But other than that, fast, powerful. Also, if I was going to be a gym leader, I'd be a ground type gym leader.
was it? My favorite Pokemon is Cubone because
That's fucking
it's sad.
sad.
It's
That's
sad,
so
but hold up.
sad.
There's a story behind it. It's because in elementary school we got lunch numbers, and my lunch number was 104, which in corresponding to the Pokédex is Cubone, and so I've been a Cubone fan ever since. And I didn't know I didn't know his sad backstory. Now I do, but it's I don't know. He's still adorable.
Or his mother's
He's still
skull.
adorable. Yes, wears the skull of his dead mother to protect himself. But no, but at the same time, like he's just adorable, cute as can be. Just
He is
very
cute.
very tragic
I
backstory.
will say that. He's also a ground
Mhm.
type, so
But
win right there.
I'd choose poison type for a gym too.
Poison, I feel like there's not even any good poison type Pokemon.
Plenty
There
of
are plenty of good poison types. The thing is, I'm blinking on its name right now.
There are plenty.
Yeah.
Okay, you got Gengar. Gengar's cool, but like,
Was it?
what else?
The Gen 7. There's a water poison that's pretty cool. It's not Toxicroak, but Toxicroak is cool Pokemon too.
Oh, you had to wait until Gen 7 to get a cool
Yeah,
Toxicity.
Pokemon.
Yep.
Toxicity is one of my favorite poison type Pokemons.
What is his name?
Okay.
It's
Okay.
in one of my favorite Pokemon. I don't not my favorite, but one of my favorite poison Pokemons in general. The moment I saw that Pokemon and knew it was in Sword and Shield, I had to get it. I immediately went for it.
What was it called again?
Toxtricity, a mixture of being toxic and electric.
I was like, if it's not electric, then
Yeah, and it has two modes. It has like a rocker mode and like a chill mode. It's like it's blue or yellow with the purple. It's dope. But getting us a little bit back on track.
Yeah. Do you got like a little Pokemon rant?
Wrapping this. Yeah, gonna wrap this up a little bit with kind of ending it out. Just a lot of anime video games. There was this Pokemon. There was this Bleach game on the PS3. If anybody still has a PS3, I would go find this Bleach game. It was really cool. I had an SAO game, Lost Song. It was trash. I don't recommend that game. Of course, Jump Force. I think I played it before, but I will never buy it. But it seems interesting because it is like the conglomeration of all the different anime characters. So it's kind of, well, not all, but a lot of them. So so those of you who do like your whole like versus things, just go play Jump Force and battle it out yourself. And then of course, Smash Bros.
Smash.
after I was good, you get anime characters in there because
Exactly.
like because of everything that they've added now.
Throw the generic Pokemon trainer out there who can add Pokemon in there, and then you can also
Hey.
add whatever
Why
that.
they just didn't add Charizard?
Fire.
Don't sleep on Pokemon Trainer.
Yeah.
Huh?
I know,
They
but
added
like with the
Charizard.
Pokemon trainer, with Ivysaur and like who was the last one? Squirtle.
Squirtle.
It's just dumb. It's like they could have just made because they just want to add Charizard in the game. That's all I believe for the Pokemon trainer. They had to be like, oh, but we can't just favor Charizard.
I personally, like when I play with Pokemon Trainer, my favorite character to play with is Squirtle. Like, but also they added like a lot of just random Pokemon. Like I felt like not Infernape.
Incineroar.
Who's like the wrestling Incineroar? Yeah, like he seemed kind of random. Pichu. Why do we need Pichu who does damage to themselves?
Pichu is adorable.
One of the most frustrating characters. Yeah, but we have Pikachu, so what do we need Pichu for?
Same thing with Lucario. There's already Mewtwo. Why add both of them?
Well, Lucario is actually worth a damn, unlike Pichu.
Wow. I like Pichu. I was talking about Lucario and Mewtwo. They're pretty much the same thing. Just they both do like the little energy ball.
But they're different. Like they're just like their movement is even different enough to be different. But like Pichu does pretty much the same things as Pikachu, but just damages themselves. Like, why?
But why? Cool.
Oh man, but any other games that you guys want to dive into before we wrap it up?
I think that's about it for me. Like I can't think of anything else. It's just
Fight.
I know there's a new
Fight me up.
Demon Slayer fighting game that's coming out recently that I want to play. Reminds me a lot of not Pirate Warriors, but Ninja Storm. But nothing else is just like sticking out to me.
It's like
But I just loved anime and video games it's always interesting to see the rendition or the iteration that relates to like, hey, this is how we envision a game based on this anime.
It's like come
Right.
fight me on Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah,
BL
I was gonna
side.
say I know you said you had Fighter Z, so I didn't know if
Yeah,
you want to
no,
talk about that for
it's
a second.
good. I'm enjoying the little story arc kind of thing, like rescuing the characters. And I mean, I guess it's like typical, like I mean, it's like any like, oh, I don't like the characters. You have to go and find them in the story mode before you can play them. Because it's just weird. Because to start off, I mean, you can only play as like Goku, I think like Tien and Krillin or something like that. It's so like so low character. Like, but then
Right.
like right, decent way into it. I think I'm almost done with the first story arc of the game. I'm about to go rescue Vegeta. At the same time, like I will fight anybody. And I almost won my first ranked match too. I was half a character's health bar away online, but I'm down to fight.
You down to fight?
Can't.
Matt, I don't think I've ever, besides Smash Bros. I don't think I've ever played in like a real fighting game. We gotta do that.
We shall soon.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember having to unlock Android 21.
Mhm. Wait, have you unlocked her?
I think in Fighter Z. I know she's also in.
Xenoverse.
She's echoing in Kakarot and in Xenoverse. So I definitely had to get her in one of those. I'm looking at the tier list now of some of these characters. I remember when I saw that they added Ultra Instinct Goku and people were losing their minds about it. Do you see a lot of people? So, like, what are some of the characters people are fighting you with in the ranks that you're
Oh,
doing
it's
when you
been
go online?
it's been about 5 days since I've been on there, but like I'm looking at the thing now. Like I use like little smaller characters just because I like the height advantage kind of thing. But they were, I think Goku Black. Some guy had Bardock, and then I think it wasn't Android 21. They had somebody else. I think Vegeta or Goat.
Mm.
Yes, yeah, I remember. Okay, Vegeta was definitely one people used a lot.
But like I'm,
Oh, I just
oh, I was gonna
sorry. Go
say I'm
ahead.
looking at the like the tier list of what people voted for kind of thing. But it's like, eh, it's
I see that they're going to release. It's unreleased currently, but they're going to add in Super Baby 2.
yeah,
Like
So remember
from
yeah.
from GT. Remember
GT?
when Baby took
Okay.
over Vegeta, and then like whatever that mode was, like a Super Saiyan mode that wasn't the blue one yet, or the Gold Monkey. Yeah, they're gonna add that. That looks pretty cool.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. No, but
Zamasu's on here too. Damn.
yeah, no, because I use Goku Black because I like his abilities a little better. But I think I use him, Kid Buu, and Gotenks is what I chose for my party. Or no, actually, I
Super Saiyan
actually no, I
Kamikaze
used Buu. I
attack.
didn't use Kid Buu. I used regular Buu because regular Buu has some. He just has awesome attacks that can hit almost anywhere. Stretchy arms are overpowered in that game.
Yeah, Kid Buu. I think the top five is Ultra Instinct Goku, Bardock, GT Goku, Cell. Man, Cell right there. Also, they should bring Cell back to life in the Dragon Ball Z Super Series. I'd like to see that. That would get me watching again.
Super.
Super
And
Saiyan
Kid
4
Buu.
Gogeta. Oh,
Uh,
oh,
Oh,
like
I love
like
my
I was
GT
like I like
characters.
GT characters. I don't like GT story. Actually, they should put Omega Shenron in there. Why not? Yes.
Yes. That aspect of GT, the whole dark Dragon Balls, evil Shinrons 1 through 9
Yeah.
or 7, whatever. What was the
Seven, yeah,
number?
seven. But the
7?
first five were jokes. The
Yeah.
mold, the whatever, the water demon person, whatever. If
And then
Pan
yeah,
can
get on
if
Mega
Pan can
Shenron.
have a same fight with you, and you're a was a dragon monster, and Pan can still whoop your butt, you don't deserve to be a dragon monster.
Man. Yeah, you just looking at this list, I'm like, maybe I should get back on it.
Oof.
Oh
Yeah.
man. But guys, it was awesome. So many fun video games to play and more to come out. I'm sure we're going to dive into even more anime video games. 'Cause we're all gamers. We love playing video games. And obviously I'm starting to stream, so I'll be probably streaming some of these. I have the whole geek aspect in my username, so I have to play some of these types of games, right? But those of you listening, if you haven't already, please be sure to follow us on our social media. We are on Instagram as The Anime Feast, on Twitter and YouTube as Anime Feast. Like Matt said earlier, if you haven't already, be sure to follow and subscribe on those sites and in YouTube. Hit that notification bell. And until next time,
Stay frosty, my friends.
Peace.